In organisms, it exists in everywhere in our body, toothbrush, our food, skin, and we know unicellular organisms that have no nucleus organisms. And we divide it to two kinds. Number one, bacteria and archaea. So it needs a nucleus and membrane that covered organelles like mitochondria. And we know mitochondria are store of energy. Now, we will discuss the harmful and advantage of these organisms. Harmful, it can cause tissues, poisoning, for example, and infections, strep throat. And the other bacteria and archaea are useful and helpful to us, helpful to other organisms. Here we have to revere, to know there's many bacteria with us and no harmful effect. No harmful effect. Let's take an example. The termites rely or depend on bacteria to break down the eating food. And other example, for example, for the cow. Archaea help it to digest the grass. When the cow eats the grass, and when it stores shaved grass in a compartment within its stomach. Now the organism break down the grass. The organisms that live in cows' stomachs are members of archaea. Members of archaea kingdom. Now we have to point out a note. Even human needs bacteria. Even human needs bacteria. Be careful on this point. In humans need bacteria and archaea for digestion. The bacteria in your intestines help you to breaking down food and produce a vitamin K. In our body. Most archaea live in a harsh environment. For example, salty water, hot spring, and sea even, deep sea even, for example. These archaea are descended from the oldest living organism on Earth. Now let's start and explain protists. We know protists are unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular and multicellular organisms. Number one, make their own food or eat other organisms. We have to concentrate on this point. Make their own food or eat other organisms. The protist kingdoms contain unicellular organisms. For example, bacteria and archaea. Now, how do you tell these tiny organisms far away from our body, for example? First, number one, protists are much larger than bacteria. There's a generous number, maybe 1,000, 100, we don't know, of bacteria cells may fit into a typical process. So most protists are microscope. For example, amoeba. It needs microscope. Now we can take the cells of protist have a central nucleus. When it has a central nucleus and other membrane-bound organs. Here we have to pay attention in this point. Now, we have to distinguish between plants and fungi. Protists have simple body structures. Have it has simple body structures and lack specialized tissues. And it's unlike animals. It's unlike animals. There's difference between it and animals. On the other hand, typical protists include algae, amoeba, and slime molds. There's a plant life. A plant life. Here we can see plant life, animal life, and fungus life. Protist algae are similar to plants. Protist, we can concentrate on algae are similar to plants. Have a chlorophyll, number one. Have a chlorophyll, make their own food. It's similar for the plants. Number one, plants have a chlorophyll, make their own food by itself, different from animals. And so we can other amoeba similar with animals. Other amoeba similar for animals. We know the properties of animals. Move from place to other place and obtain food by eating other organisms, like the body, like the lion, like all animals. Fungus-like protists, such as slime molds, look to the chart, slime mold, break down dead organism to obtain food. Break down dead organism to obtain food. Now, what about viruses? Viruses, living and non-living things. So that they may seem alive. A part of scientists believe that viruses are not living organisms. A part of scientists believe that viruses are not living organisms. It haven't a properties of organisms. Now, what about classified of viruses? Viruses not classified in any of the 6 kingdoms. We have 6 kingdoms. The virus is not classified in any of these 6 kingdoms. What is the reason? They don't carry out all of the basic life process. For this reason, don't carry out all of the basic life processes. Viruses carry out only of these basic processes, reproduction. And it's so small. Viruses is so small, we need a microscope to study them. We need microscope to study them because it's so small. Now, there's a common cold. We know common cold is caused by virus. The virus caused common cold. We know common cold in the winter. And some viruses are not harmful. The other kind are not harmful. Sometimes enter our body of living things and take some of itself. Concentrate here. Take some of its cells and cause to it get sick. There's 2 kinds, useful and harmful. We have to distinguish between the both. Now we are gonna to mention some serious diseases. We know chickenpox, polio, and HIV/AIDS, sneezing and coughing, sync-called viruses. The virus is harmful in this point. it can move or transfer from one person to the other. Here, the virus is harmful. It attaches itself to a cell when a virus enters a cell. When the virus enters our body, enters cells, attach itself to a cell. When enter a cell. Now it's take a control of the cell. It will become controlled by the cell for all activities. For all activities. Now it instructs the cell to produce more viruses. It forces the cell to produce more viruses. When the time is over or over time, the cells becomes filled. The cells becomes filled with viruses. It contains a large number of viruses, particles, and it will be burst open to the other, and then the released viruses from it can invade other cells, causing infection and disease. Now we can summarize the viruses. It's two kinds: useful and harmful. Harmful, it can cause chickenpox, polio, HIV, AIDS, sneezing and coughing, and sometimes it's useful. Now, which three kingdoms are multicellular and mainly unicellular? We have talked about this point. And we have talked about fungi. There's plant, not plant and not any animals. And we have talked about all these definitions. Okay. Now we can move to video. Okay, thank you. Now let's move to the page Page 40, you can put a highlight. This is from previous lessons. If you want to put a highlight, you can put this page 40. We explain this page. What are bacteria and protists? Hurry up, you can put a highlight. You have 1 minute to move to the next page. Here some bacteria and archaea are useful, as we say. Cows stored chewed grass. We talk about this point. Even humans need bacteria and archaea for digestion. And they also produce the vitamin K your body needs. Archaea are descended from the oldest living organism on Earth. All this point is so important. Now, page 41. Page 41. We explain this page, but you can put a highlight. Protist kingdom contains unicellular organisms. Protists are unicellular or multicellular. Two kinds. Make their own food, much larger than bacteria. Most protists are microscopic. Most protists are microscopic. Be careful from this point. Put highlight. If we note the amoeba might be about 0.5 millimeters. We can see it without microscope. It's unlike animals. I put highlight in this point. Plant and fungi. The first properties, protists have simple body structures and lack specialized tissues. Put highlight about this lines. The others is similar for plants, similar to plants. Similar to plants. Algae have chlorophyll. It's similar for the plants. Make their own food by itself. Two properties similar for the plants. If we look to the amoeba, share some characters with animals, similar for animals. What are the properties for animals? Number one, it can move from place to other place, obtain food by eating other organisms. Classify unicellular organism without a nucleus lives in the soil and breaks down with material. Are these archaea or bacteria? It's a bacterium. Here's the answer you can write. It's a bacterium. Doesn't lie in a harsh environment. You can classify it bacterium. Bacterium doesn't live in a harsh environment. This condition, harsh environment, not live in a harsh environment. What stops scientists from classifying plant life, protist, as plants? Some are unicellular and they lack specialized tissues and have simple body structures. Have simple body structures. Now please, my boys, open your workbook, page 8. Page 8. Number 9, who can read? I will choose Hamad Saif, number 9, page 8, number 9.
Yes, Mister.
Yes, answer number 9.
The two major groups into which plants are organized are vasculars and non-vasculars.
Excellent. Vascular and non-vascular. Excellent, Muhammad. Number 10. Number 10. Mu'min Bassam. Mu'min Bassam.
Yes, Mister.
Number 10.
Number 10. Unlike plants, fungi get food by breaking down the organism.
You did well. Excellent. Muhammad Dia. Number 11. Muhammad Dia. Number 11. Fungus that makes bread rise is called Muhammad Dia. Are you hearing me, Muhammad Dia? Okay, we'll move to the other students. Ahmed Bandar, number 11.
Lobster, a frog that makes breakfast roast is called the yeast.
Yes, excellent. Yes, it's make the bread rise is yeast. Now, number 12. Yusuf Muharram. Yusuf.
Mister,
Yes, number 12.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yesterday when I was doing the quiz, it lagged at me. It stopped.
Quiz. Stop.
Yesterday, Mister, when I was doing the quiz, question six, there was nothing, and the counter was running down.
You can do it in next time. You have a time till 25. The deadline 25. You can make other quiz. Now concentrate on the lessons.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 12.
Bacteria are unicellular organisms with no nucleus.
Yes, excellent. 13. Faris Ammar.
Yes, Mister.
Number 13.
The two kingdoms used to classify bacteria are the and
through bacteria and ancient bacteria.
Through
You have to do
bacteria and
it.
ancient.
Yes, through bacteria and ancient bacteria. Thank you. Number 14. Number 14. Kareem. Kareem Muhammad. Number 14.
Protists can be unicellular or multicellular.
Excellent. You did well. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Number 15. Kareem Majid. Kareem. Yes, Kareem Majid. Number 15.
Bacteria protists have large cells, a nucleus, and bound
organelles. Unlike bacteria, protists have large cells, a nucleus, and bound organelles. Thank you so much. Now, what about viruses? What about viruses? Number 16. Kareem.
Yes, mister.
Yes, number 16.
Can you go down?
Yeah. Read from your workbook.
Yes.
Read from your workbook. Answer from your workbook. Okay.
Viruses are not classified as reproduction as living organisms because they carry out no life process
Except
reproduction.
try to practice reading. Huh? Kareem. Thank you. Number 17. Number 17, we'll discuss these questions. Hamza Khalil.
Yeah, Mister.
Read number
Mister,
17.
I sent to you on the email
Yeah.
because of the quiz. In number 6, the internet connection is disconnected. So in the quiz, there is 5 marks that go on me.
Yes, you can do it next time. Next
6,
time.
7,
Next
8,
time,
9,
maybe
10.
the internet is better. You can do it in next time. Don't worry. Now, question number 17, please. Read. Number 17. Number 17. Read.
Yes, Mister, I'm Mu'min.
Yes, Mu'min. Read, please.
Okay, Mister, I have a question not in the quiz about the lesson.
Yeah. You are welcome, yes.
There is a question, question 8. I didn't understand it. Although they are formed two different kingdoms, plants and fungi always have what?
Which number?
8.
Number 8. Although, what are plants and fungi?
Have cell walls?
Yes, they are similar in this properties, cell walls. The both contain cell walls.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Now number 17. Number 17. Yes, number 17. Mu'min? Mu'min?
Yes.
Read, please.
What makes plants and animals different from bacteria?
Yeah.
Plants and animals are multicellular. Bacteria are unicellular. Bacteria cells have no nucleus or mitochondria. Plants make their own food. Bacteria cannot make their own food.
Yeah. So important. Yes. Sorry. Okay. Now here plants and animals are multicellular. Bacteria are unicellular. Bacteria cells have no nucleus or mitochondria. Put highlight. Plants make their own food. Plants make their own food. Plants make their own food. Bacteria cannot. Bacteria cannot. There is difference between plants and bacteria. The main difference, plants make their own food by itself, but the bacteria cannot make their own food. Clear, my sons? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you have any question, any comment, anything, you can ask me. I will open the camera. I will open the camera.
Mister.
Yeah?
Sorry, 1 minute.
I will open the
Yeah.
camera. Yes.
The quiz that you send us,
Yeah.
it is coming in the report or no?
I will think about this point later. I will decide. But don't worry. We have other quiz. We have other quiz. Don't worry. When you come into the school, we will make a quiz. Other quiz.
Okay.
Don't worry about this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Any question, my sons? Anything? Do you have anything? Ready. Okay, now we will make reading for our lessons. I will choose students for reading. I will choose Protest Kingdom. Protest Kingdom. I will choose students. Ahmed Bandar. Ahmed Bandar.
No, Mister, when is the test start? Today or tomorrow?
Sorry, again, please.
When is the test?
Yeah, you can do it today or tomorrow or after tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now read, yeah. Read, Ahmed. Read.
It's in the book, Mister.
Read like bacteria.
Is it in the book or where?
Page 41.
Like a bacteria and effect, the project kingdom and control oxygen projects are unusual or not offered.
Yes. Continue.
I don't know rest of
What?
project that early make their own food or eat others oxygen. How do you tell this time?
How do you tell these tiny organisms apart?
First, projects are much smaller than bacteria. Here are 4,000 of bacteria cells might fit into a child project. Even so, projects are Microsoft and right for explanation might be over 5 million inch, 2 inches in the
Inches, yeah. In width, yes. Barely visible without a microscope. Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
Ahmed Hassouna. Ahmed Hassouna. Okay, time's up. Time's up. I'm sorry. Time's up. Time's up. Thank you so much, my sons. And be ready for the next lesson. Read the lessons. Study the lesson hard in your home. Be ready for the next time, please.